Joshua and Mark are best friends since childhood. They went to the same school and the same college too. They played together, did every crazy things together. Joshua is an introvert and hardly has any friends. He's really afraid of losing his loved ones. Mark is the only friend of Joshua. But Mark is a complete extrovert and loves to make new friends. Both of them share a really strong bond with each other. Joshua is the unpaid therapist for Mark. Whenever Mark has a problem, he knows he will find an answer only with Joshua. They were always there for each other, no matter what the situation was. Mark always had a series of problems in his life, and Joshua is the only person he always counts on. This doesn't mean Joshua didn't have any problem at all. Joshua is from a really poor family and has many more problems than Mark, but he never expresses them. All that Joshua wants is to see Mark happy always. He hides all his sorrows to put a smile on Mark's face, but Mark doesn't know Joshua's worth. Since Joshua is always there for him no matter what, he takes him for granted. He ignores him always and turns up only when he needs something. But Joshua gives his best without expecting anything in return. Both of them complete their studies and look for a job. Mark starts up his own business and is doing really well in his field. He becomes the most famous man and his business is the talk of the town. It's been 6 years since Mark and Joshua saw each other. Mark made many new friends and was living his best life. Joshua, on the other hand, was working hard for his family. He always tried to reach out to Mark, but none of his letters or phone calls were answered. Mark had his life settled and he had nothing to worry about. But there was a feeling of guilt that he carried a long way. The reason for the guilt was not to be found. He just knew he was guilty, and this disturbed him for months. Although he had everything in his life, he felt like the major part of his life was still missing. And this continued for several months, until he came across a picture from his childhood. Yes, you guessed it right. It was the childhood picture of Mark and Joshua. And that moment when he saw that picture, he felt like he found out the missing block of the puzzle. He then tried calling Joshua, but he got no reply. So then, he made up his mind to go and meet Joshua personally and to reinstate their friendship. Soon after Mark made this decision, he found himself on the way to meet his best friend. He finally reached Joshua's house. And when he knocked on the door, Joshua's mother opens the door, and Mark is really surprised to see Joshua's mom. He eagerly goes inside Joshua's room, only to find an empty bed. He then asks Joshua's mother about him, and his mother breaks into tears and tells him that Joshua is dead. This was the most heartbreaking news to Mark. He breaks into tears and cries bitterly. And after hours of consoling, Joshua's mother hands over a diary to Mark and says, "Joshua had left this for you." The diary was a gift to Mark, where Joshua had written many things for Mark. He wrote about the times when he wanted to reach out to Mark but couldn't. He also wrote the reason for his death. Joshua had mentioned that he was suffering from a rare heart disease which needed a lot of money to be cured. And at that point, Joshua wanted Mark to support him both morally and financially. But Mark was not to be reached. Joshua knew he'd die, but what he also knew was that nothing in this world could ever break their friendship. Joshua's last words were, "Mark, I know that you are very busy, but don't forget that I'll always be there for you, no matter what. Let's be friends again in heaven." Mark then realized Joshua's worth, but it was already too late. Friendship is the most powerful, yet the most underrated bond on this earth. All of us have many friends, but not everyone is our best friend. It takes a lot of trust and vulnerability to be a best friend. A best friend is someone who is always available for you, the one that's always got your back. A best friend is someone who will stand up for you even when the whole world is against you. Joshua was always there for Mark no matter what. He always prioritized Mark more than himself. But Mark was too foolish to let go of such a good friend. And when he realized it, it was way too late. Although Mark made many new friends over the years, nobody could even match the level of bond he shared with Joshua, and that struck him really hard. Let's not be like Mark, too foolish to let go of one true best friend. Let's value the ones that are always there for us no matter what, because greater love has no one more than this, to lay down one's life for one's best friends. Share this video with your best friend today.